Oh, hey there. Sorry, didn't see you. I was just playing Golf Clash on my phone, trying to earn some points toward my next sub. But I guess we're back here with at the GSA 70 Star League with more Division 1 action. Oh my goodness. And we are here with two absolute legends. That's right. It is world record holder CLG's Cheese versus Frank the Adorable Dog and also his owner RockChalk. And as you can see, we've got quite a division up here. Ouija, with that last match, did continue his undefeated streak here in the first place spot. And Cheese is going to have a chance to join him in first place, of course, only in third place because he has yet to play his third match. And it does look like he will be safe either tying with the second or first place berth. Meanwhile, we've got RockChalk with a little more of something to prove, a little further back, and we're just gonna get right into it. So yeah, it looks like both players playing on the US version, consummate professionals, never ever sacrificing a free second. And apparently the professor's gonna have to have a little talk with Cheese. Has his phone out in the middle of the exam. Certainly going to be an issue. Or not. The rules are non-specific on the matter. So it is possible that phones are allowed in the exam room, and we will only know after a bit. So just a heads up, even if Cheese takes the lead, crazy, right? There's no way that would ever happen. We are going to be listening to RockChalk's audio. Cheese had a little bit of an audio issue. That is what's going on with his phone, obviously, on screen. These races are pre-recorded, but my reactions to them are not. And to prove it, I am going to type Frank Cuisine in chat right now. Wait, that actually doesn't prove anything. But either way, just take my word for it. Looks like we do have a clean couple bomb clips coming out from Cheese and RockChalk, both getting sub 140s. And already some exciting action going down. Accusations in the chat that this is scripted. I cannot confirm nor deny, but I will say this, scripted does not mean pre-recorded. So, who knows? Indeed, some more Frankersies. Beautiful. Accusations that the Frankersies are pre-recorded. Unfortunately, no sight yet of RockChalk's Doge. He does take a quick look off screen. 12 sevens coming down for both of them. It looks like he's looking at something off screen, so it's possible that oh, there it is, and we've seen him. All right, we need some pogs right now. And yet Frank has entered the building, and immediately RockChalk starting to take the lead here. Not really. We just have a slightly offset. I think they just, yeah, they left their bomb clips were just a couple frames apart or so. But we've got a pupper in the building. Ooh, no, looks like Cheese is going to be missing that cannonless, and RockChalk taking a little bit slower and does not quite get it. He gets the ledge grab. Now RockChalk gonna have to do a slow setup. Cheese finally gets it. Bit of a race to the bottom going down here. Already both players missing that cannonless, and RockChalk misses it again, and he's gonna have to back it up with the wild blue star. It's funny because back in school, my excuse always, whenever I was like goofing off or not paying attention, is the teacher would be like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I was distracted by a dog," and RockChalk actually, unironically, has that excuse. Next thing you know, Frank's gonna eat his controller. Cheese picks up that Owless, and now RockChalk's gonna take cannonless one more time. And RockChalk actually resetting up. Probably glad that he reset it. Of course, reset the setup, that is, not his console. But we have had our stint of that in the past. She's starting off with, looks like he is doing Pro Cycle here. Gets the kick, and he looks like he's going to be making this. Yep, just makes that cycle. He's going to miss that first coin. Not all that abnormal. RockChalk going to be picking up the No Owl Star. Ooh, very cute little camera coming out from Cheese, who is showing us the inside of that wall a little bit there, and a clean finish for that 100 coin. RockChalk doing his own 100 coin over here. Looks like he's doing an intermediate cycle. And going to be making it nice and clean. And Cheese finishing up his own red coins star after that 100. And ooh, some nice old RNG coming in from RockChalk. And we're going off to the races as RockChalk finish up is Hundo. Commentator, a little debatable as to whether he is indeed speaking English anymore, but looks like he has managed to recover whatever was the problem with his diction for now. Let's see how that performance continues as we progress through the swamps. An uncharacteristically flawless Whomps going down. Commentator once again completely forgetting what happened with Kenlis earlier on in the run, just barely recovering that slight memory loss. But looks like we're back in it. She's going to be picking up this chip off Whomp's block star. And RockChalk doing the same over here. And she's going to re-enter for the last star of Whomp's 9. Still looking at a sub 7-minute Whomps. Certainly a very decent time for a race. She's, of course, one of the best runners in the world. So may or may not be happy with it, but a single cannonless miss, not a huge deal in Whomp's Fortress for a race, certainly in the upper echelons, the upper percentiles of quality in terms of Whomp's Fortress. She's going to be headed here into the second Peach's Secret Slide Star. And we're going to get some predictions in chat. Or we're not. It's entirely up to you all. But I'm thinking it's going to be a 12.6, and don't quote me on that because I'm probably wrong. Yep, not a 12.6, unfortunately. It looks like a 12.7 or 12.8. And it is indeed a 12.7. Cheese didn't get quite the best angle coming off of that second barrier. I think RockChalk's getting a 12.7. Commentator pretending that call is braver than it actually is. And wrong to boot. RockChalk gets a 12.8, and Cheese does gain the 0.1 second advantage in the Princess Peach's Secret Slide, as they did both get 12.7s early. Nice clean test box skip coming out from Cheese. Solid wing cap, and RockChalk going to be doing the same. Ooh, almost had a little bit of directional flub there, and you can see him wincing a little bit, cringing a little bit. Really more a wince. Cringe is probably a little too harsh. I would say he was wincing because he almost missed those coins, though he may have cringed had he missed them, indeed. She's going to be headed into Bowser in the Dark World, and a fake sync coming out, but for a couple frames. So yeah, since the topic's coming out in chat and we're seeing Cheese get a little bit of, okay, just does get the safer shake cycle movement, and he's going to be heading out. As the topic has come up, discussing semi-star, what's interesting about Mario 64 is that the stars the names of the categories are not for how many stars you need, but rather the restrictions of the categories. So, strictly speaking, if you got 75 stars and forgot that you were doing 70 star and you wanted a Bowser and you were still in PB pace, you can still submit the run as long as you follow the rules of the category, which is basically that you may not use the miss clip, which is used commonly in 16 star. Cheese getting a clean shake cycle, and RockChalk doing exactly the same. So both players having fantastic Dark Rolls. But yeah, 70 star, you just can't do mips clip, and you cannot do any kind of backwards long jumps. Backward long jump, of course, is where you long jump backward. So, obviously, backward long jump, of course, is when you're using it to like gain speed. If you happen to do a long jump and hold back with it, the run's not going to be invalidated. But as long as you do not exceed, you do not use the BLJ to gain speed, you are safe in 70 star. Which is why it's called kind of 70 star, no major glitches or no major skips. Technically speaking, there are some glitches allowed, such as bomb fake or pillarless, that sort of stuff. But no major glitches that can be used as skips, basically. And chat saying, imagine doing a 70 star run and getting 75 stars by accident. Yeah, imagine that. I've never done that before. Commentator averting eye contact as Cheese does the skybox nice and clean. Ooh, gets a little roll on to the ledge. So you're going to lose a couple frames, not a huge deal, but overall pretty clean. And RockChalk doing the special slide up and down the hill movement. Very cute movement. We don't see a lot of runners do it in races. I'm not sure if it's new or if it's just like newly incorporated, but a few runners do it nowadays. RockChalk loses a bunch of speed. Is going to lose a little time to Cheese on this particular part of the run. And Cheese going to be going into Cold, Cold Mountain. Cheese standardly starting off with the wall kicks will work strat and bonks against the thing that you bonk on. What's it called? The object, the solid object. Obviously, solid objects are very dangerous here. If you smack your head against them as Mario, he gets hurt a little. And it's an interesting aspect of the game's physics that blunt objects hurt your head. RockChalk does not bonk, and now he is going to save a lot of time over Cheese on this particular star. Not quite enough to gain the lead, but the run is still young. RockChalk doing a little baby penguin saving himself. And this penguin is notoriously difficult. Does tend to troll, does tend to be a little bit of a memer. Kind of a delinquent penguin. Just to answer a question in the chat, this is pre-recorded. The commentary is live, and I just proved it. And she's actually going for Cold Cold Mountain 17, where he does not do the CCM 18, does not do the Penguin race, and so is RockChalk. And I can only imagine we're seeing this a little more, obviously, because it is Division 1. We have these players so used to doing double pillarless, they have absolutely no problem. Cheese does miss a coin. He does not want to miss another coin. You do only want to miss one coin, I believe, in the slide. Or, no, actually it is two. But it looks like Cheese already missed 2 coins. And RockChalk, for his own part, not quite missing anything yet. Does want to miss 1 coin so as not to get a 100-coin start in the middle of the slide. Although if you do, it's not strictly speaking the end of the world. So, yeah. And this would be a good time to mention, I've noticed that a lot of people in chat are not actually subscribed to the Speedrun channel, and I understand that obviously there's absolutely no obligation ever to subscribe to a streamer. But if you find yourself thinking, hey, I'd love to be subscribed, but I don't want to pay money to be subscribed, well, other people might consider that to be wanting to have your cake and eat it too. But at Speedrun, at the Global Speedrun Association, we do not consider that to be the case, which is why we have teamed up with Onyx.tv to give out free subs. All you got to do is go to Onyx.tv and download Golf Clash on your phone or tablet and play it. And if you earn 500 points while playing, that is a free subscription to your favorite channel, which obviously is twitch.tv/speedrun. And oh my goodness, Cheese with an absolutely clean King Boo star. Oh my gosh, that movement was fantastic. We need some pogs in chat for that. Just kidding. Obviously, shout outs to Aura the Azor gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Much love. We cannot make this happen without you. Absolute shout outs to the bosses coming down in chat. I love me some gift subs. I have one myself. Quite frustrated actually because I got a gift sub to Speedrun and the person who gifted me the sub was never in chat while I was there. And they gifted it to me while I wasn't there. So I never actually got to shout them out personally. But to all of you gift subbers, you are all the men, or you are all my friends. She's getting a dive grab here on Mips. Probably used to the speed of Japanese Mips bunnies, so not really going for the punch grab. I don't blame him. And Commentator getting corrected, of course, on the CCM 17. Obviously, entering the slide with 18 coins is how you spawn the star. Commentator struggling a little bit with math. Was a math major for about 20 minutes, so got used to using letters instead of numbers and forgot all of his arithmetic. She's going here for a Tama pillarless, and just pristine, clean, beautiful pillarless from Mr. Cheese. And RockChalk's going to be joining him. Apparently that wasn't Tama, but we are seeing Tama now. Commentator going to pretend that he was watching RockChalk on an advanced feed. And RockChalk actually taking the death on the Tama. And she's going to be going back for that balcony star. And RockChalk going to try that Tama again. And hits it. But because of that death, RockChalk is still in the deficit despite a clean Tama pillarless and takes the little fall off the guy. Yeah, I know it threw me off. Basically, I didn't see Cheese hit the ground beneath the hill because he does this. He does like the intermediate strat where you start the ground pounds past the top of the hill, and it was in my peripherals because I was watching RockChalk's camp. She's getting a nice clean secrets to boot. So basically, I didn't see him hit the bottom of the hill, and I saw him in the peripherals, and I was like, oh yeah, he must have gone for Tama because, you know, who doesn't go for Tama in a race when you're doing double pillarless? That's a logical statement to make. So yeah, RockChalk also cleaning up over here, and we're going to be seeing Cheese finish up here in Shifting Sandland. Did have that one failed pillarless, but otherwise, very, very clean movement from him, and unfortunately RockChalk not able to capitalize on his slightly better strats because he does take that death. But we're going to be seeing Lethal Lava Land come out from both players. Indeed, rock solid save from RockChalk. And speaking of rock solid, exclamation point Onyx in chat to see how you can get a free sub. Cheese with a clean wing cap star, red hot log rolling. There was a little bit of confusion as to what the name of that star was. Way to clean up the confusion. RockChalk heading here into Lethal Lava Land while Cheese doing the easiest star in the game. Don't at me. This is easier than shining atop the pyramid. and RockChalk joining the Bully Hunters. Commentator never getting tired of that joke.
Here we go.
Yeah, and we're seeing Cheese also a little bit of anti-bully strats of his own. Very interesting placement, but whatever works for him, whatever floats his goat. And RockChalk now taking on the Bully squad. One of those guys did not want to get in the lava, but the big guy did. And overall, pretty clean coming out from RockChalk. I unironically think that the deep freeze star in SL is deceptively difficult. At least the triple jump like movement. Obviously, if you manage to jump up the house, which is also like not quite as easy as it seems.
Here we go.
Commentator definitely thinks his opinion on what the easiest and hardest stars in the game is important, as he does have no notable accomplishments in Mario 64 speedrunning. But Cheese doing the long jump strat here, not opting for the pro strat. Definitely the markings of a 120 star runner is someone who does not have lava boost super optimized. But it pays off as Cheese gets a first try lava boost on definitely probably one of the least practiced stars he has in this run. Gonna be going here for elevator boost, the last star in LOL. As RockChalk enters the volcano as well, looks like RockChalk going to be doing the pro boost. And it's so nice and clean. But we'll be doing the triple jump or the side flip dive into the pole. Chat, not a fan of blue cheese, but also a fan of blue cheese. Some very controversial political discussions on the merits of blue cheese going on in chat. Commentator certainly has not going to be sharing his opinion. Does not want to appear to be a biased commentator in any way. All right, come on, let's go RockChalk, catch it up. Let's go RockChalk, yeah. Cheese, meanwhile, starting off here in BDD, had a seamless opening cutscene to that 30-star door. Lost 0 time. RockChalk heading here to join his opponent, his nemesis. In the direst of docks. Now, I'm not biased for or against blue cheese, but I am biased toward Golf Clash. And I may or may not be playing it right now. So Cheese having nice, quick treasure chests, and RockChalk doing the same. Ooh, actually was afraid of getting zapped and moved over that second chest. Cheese, meanwhile, going for back sub. What an absolute boss. And oh my goodness, 2 check-ins coming in for the Onyx app. Shout outs to both of you. Sorry, I literally just meant front sub. Commentator getting called out. Getting called out in the chat for accidentally calling front sub, back sub. And RockChalk is angling left, but obviously that camera, he will be going for back sub, which is the back of the submarine. And as opposed to front sub, which is the front of the submarine. And RockChalk getting a nice clean front sub. Oops, I meant the other thing. She's heading here into Fire Sea. Has to do them red coins. And a nice clean Manta coming out from RockChalk. Looks like Cheese not having much trouble here. Going to be getting a nice clean lava boost. Picks it up. One kick, two kick, red kick, blue kick. And we're getting the good ending. Ooh, a little bit of a flub, but not really losing any time. And oh no, RockChalk having a little trouble here on this pole in the cage, and gonna be struggling to make early Ellie's. Probably not gonna be able to make the lava boost. We're gonna see if he'll be able to make early Ellie's. And oh my goodness. Yeah, RockChalk nowhere near making the early cycle. Gonna have to wait for that second cycle. At least can do the side flip wall kick. And feels like lava boost. But gets a good ending, so not too much. She's headed upstairs into the wet dry world. Yeah, so the best time ever gotten in a race was by Punkation, who is with us in the chat. We got a 48:04 at pace in a live event of all things, in an offline event. She's picking up that express elevator. Wait, that was at pace, right? Oh, it was not at pace. You got a 47. Okay. Oh, this season. Okay. Well, the best time was at pace for all of 70 Star League. But indeed, for this season, was a 48:04. RockChalk headed to join Cheese. And Cheese doing the double box breaker. I do love me that double box breaker, and RockChalk doing the slightly more innovative, less commonly seen strat of jumping over the boxes for no apparent reason. Decent RNG from Skeeter, not quite as good as Cheese's. But overall, nothing too crazy coming out for either of these players. Wet Dry World 100, a notoriously difficult star. The better you get at this game, the more difficult Wet Dry World 100 becomes, because, oh my goodness, and RockChalk losing a bunch of coins. Gonna have to get the backup box, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. The more consistent you get at this game, the more it matters how hard Wet Dry World 100 is, because the RNG you just can't control. No matter how hard you grind, the game is going to choose to send coins in different directions. So we are going to be seeing RockChalk go for that backup coin box. He does skip a coin. Doesn't matter, as he does get the backups. RockChalk finishing up his own 100, and she's going to be getting out of Wet Dry World. And she's just keeps talking on that phone. Probably getting some coaching. Maybe needs a little help remembering strats. Has been playing ROM hacks lately, so maybe someone's just letting him know this is the star you need to get next. Not technically banned, not against the rules. So certainly up to him if he wants to do that. Clean ending to the secret star. And RockChalk going here for the triple jump wall kick, misses it, and is gonna have to go around and hit that switch. Not a huge deal. Commentator definitely overhyping the consequences of that mistake, but certainly not ideal. But better than making the kick and missing it and falling into the water. I will say that much. And she's picking up the what's it called? It's the shape where it's the 5-pointed shape, and it's the thing you're supposed to collect 70 times in this run. Technically 71 because you get one from Bowser. Stars, right? Star. She picks up the star, and she's is pentagram. That's the one. That's the one. And she's going to be doing a little bit of gardening here. Nice and clean. RockChalk doing some secrets of his own. Let's see how this third secret goes. Nice and clean. Perfect triple jump strategy. And oh no, misses the movement. Gets a little punch, and it messes up his timing for the mountain flip. Gonna have to do a little back up there. And she's just slowly saving time over his opponent, expanding his lead. It's still not a tippy proof lead for sure. She's only a minute or so ahead. Maybe a little more than a minute, but RockChalk gonna be heading up, and she's does get the breezeless. Breezeless, of course, the strat where you don't take the breeze. Pretty self-explanatory. Cheese gets a nice clean mountain clip. We don't even see Mario enter the low water. That's the sign of a good mountain clip. Unless, of course, it's because Mario dives to his death, in which case it's not a good mountain clip. But such is not the case for Cheese. He goes straight into that top warp. RockChalk also doing piranhas. Piranha plant. Very interesting. It's almost like every runner that ever does 70 does it. And she's getting that second mountain clip and gets the second log wall kick as per usual. And hitting the top of the mountain, getting the star. RockChalk does a little bit of posturing, circles around Toad to let him know who's boss. Kind of like the Killer Bees from Wind Waker. And now I've mentioned the Killer Bees in Wind Waker 2 days in a row, and not sorry. She's going for reds here in Tall Tall Mountain. Interesting camera, and oh no, misses the red coin. This is the worst place to miss coins because, as I've said before, TTM Reds really operates on a script. You really want to do all of your inputs in order because getting thrown off anywhere, it feels really awkward. Because you've got to avoid some interesting landing boxes on the shrooms, on the mushrooms. So missing red coins is certainly a scary moment for sure on those mushrooms. So far, yeah, pretty clean play from both players. Cheese pretty much his only mistake so far is that he missed cannon miss once, I believe. I'm trying to remember any other like particularly major mistakes. And RockChalk also, especially through Marathon, having a very good run of his own. It's just that he's up against some pretty flawless play from Cheese, and RockChalk misses Breezeless, and he's going to have to go for Breezeless. But a clean backup, and Cheese also having a clean Snowman's head of his. Cheese did miss one pillowless, but did a quick backup, as has been pointed out in chat. But other than that, I can't really think of any other particularly salient mistakes. RockChalk having some clean movement, slightly more consistent, easier movement, but again, saves fractions of a second to do the super optimized one that Cheese went for. So RockChalk definitely saving time over Cheese on this TTM Reds. And kind of needs it. Definitely when you're racing against Cheese, you want to have every edge you can. You don't want to rely on him to lose minutes in TTC or Rainbow Ride. So RockChalk is going to be vying for every millisecond of time save that he can. He'll be doing this blast to the Lonely Mushroom. Picks it up nice and clean. Blast to the Lonely Mushroom has been a noted point of struggle for runners this season in the 70-star league, but for sure, both runners here not struggling with it now. She's finishing up Snowman's Land and has quite a wide lead over his opponent. Still not too much. Certainly not tippy-proof, but RockChalk does have his work cut out for him. She's going to be heading back into basement. And the reason for this is that it technically saves about a second for you to pick up this 50-star MIPS. Oh no, and she's defeating the entire purpose of HMC late by missing MIPS. Gonna have to back it up. Now, if he had missed the first MIPS coming into basement, it wouldn't have been an issue. He could just pick up MIPS coming out of Lethal Lava Land, barely loses any time. But here, you're not actually going to be back out in this room, so you have to pick up that MIPS star because the entire strat is actually focused around it. And pretty much all of the other stars, it's like you've already used them up, unless you want to do like the Toxic Maze star in HMC, which is completely counterintuitive. It's just wasting a crazy amount of time. Obviously, you're going to get MIPS. So yeah, so the reason that people do HMC late is that the MIP star, when done perfectly, saves 1 second over doing HMC early, at which point you would do one of the other upstairs stars. Oh, actually, no, you would do, you could also do Toxic Maze. Not sure which one is the fastest. I think SL Reds is the fastest. She's meanwhile getting a nice clean first one here. Gonna be headed here for this Christmas Miracle. Nice clean Christmas Miracle. Dives in, hits the switch. And RockChalk going for a really safe 50-star MIPS and still missing it. Going to be going on a bit of a wild goose chase and finally picks up that MIPS. Commentator might have to start queuing up the Benny Hill theme music for this MIPS star. Never expected it to be needed in taking a little bomb. Never expected it to be necessary in Division 1, but anything can happen in 70-star racing. Cheese picks up the amazing emergency exit. And RockChalk can be headed here into Hazy Maze Cave. And Frank, taking a peek out the window, doesn't see anything he likes. Gonna be headed back And a little fake sync coming out. Or a fake almost sync, I guess. And RockChalk getting a nice, clean triple box jump. She's getting no bad boulders. And going to be finishing up HMC still clean, 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 clean. And an upside down Ralph Z. Absolutely beautiful. Or a Lil Z, I guess. Ralph is the other one. Commentator getting confused, can't tell different dogs apart from each other. Very speciesist. Very, just absolute pig. Wowie. She's headed up here into Tippy, and yeah, RockChalk picking up a nice clean Christmas miracle. She's with the glitchy wall kick. And a clean Locky 2 bounce. Just absolutely no space for RockChalk to catch up here. And, ooh, she gets a little ledge grab there, but still does the double wall kick strap. Chat asking where Tama is. He was supposed to commentate, but accidentally turned off his console. She's picking up tricky triangles here, and RockChalk also getting pretty decent boulder RNG. Nothing major going down. And RockChalk can be headed up into Tippy, certainly doing his job to catch up, but she's not giving any space at the current moment. She's headed here into Rainbow Ride Reds. Definitely the most potential for minor time loss, but once again, she's not making any mistakes here. And the commentator's curse strikes, and she gets a little cheeky ledge grab. And Frank, looks like Cheese is not the only one getting coaching. Frank trying to give his dad a couple tips on how to catch up, and apparently one of those tips was to do the glitchy wall kick. And RockChalk's gonna be like, "Thanks, Frank, that's a good idea." And we're gonna get that glitchy wall kick into the Locky 2 bounce, save a lot of time. Slight hiccup on the pole grab, took a little bit more time than we would have wanted it to, but also saves time not getting the ledge grab. So. Definitely keeping up pace. And she's headed here into the tick-tock clock. But yeah, between the coaching, Cheese was getting on the phone, and RockChalk struggling here with Rainbow Ride Reds. And RockChalk getting clearly some pointers from Frank, and he misses the Reds. Commentator not able to get to the punchline of his joke, unfortunately, but RockChalk going to be cleaning up Rainbow Ride Reds, bailing me out of what, frankly, was a pretty mediocre joke. Cheese, meanwhile, I blinked and he'd finished TTC 100, so I'm not sure if anything had happened. I got distracted by the dog, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't think anything happened because, quite frankly, that was a really quick TTC 100 that I did not seem to get the chance to see. RockChalk can be finishing up here. Decides to go for the slightly slower, no side flip off the top of the pendulum platform thing. You know what I'm talking about. She's cleaning up his moving TTC things. Okay, so Cheese didn't do 100. And RockChalk finishing up with tricky triangles. I guess it doesn't really matter because Cheese did enter with time stopped. That is the major time save on the star order. As long as you do a time stop star first, that's the most important part because it means you're not going to have to wait for the time to enter the o'clock mode. And she's going to be headed here into. Oh, looks like he is doing that red coins start first. We'll be opting to do 100 coin last. Looks like that is the last remaining one, and we're going to see RockChalk take a bit of a fake lead here. Already halfway through 100 coin while Cheese is nearly starting his. And just like that, the tables are turned in the context. If you don't look at the star count, RockChalk actually in a commanding lead. And very clean movement. Doesn't do a jump kick there, but still. RockChalk on that 80 coin. Oh, it's a little bit of dust. And she's having a couple struggles, memes aside. Certainly having a slower 100 coin than his opponent.
Here we go!
And just to answer a question in the chat, commentary is indeed pre-recorded. Kappa. And she's getting an invisible. Oh my goodness, this is huge. She's losing entire seconds out of like a 2-minute lead. And RockChalk is picking up this roll into the cage. And bits coming pouring in. Oh my goodness.
Go.
20 more. And something about 120 stars. I didn't think through that joke before I made it. Honestly, I hadn't even finished writing it. I just had an idea, like a concept for a joke, and I was in the middle of drafting what that joke would be, and I just started saying it. I guess I was influenced by the Game of Thrones writers or something, but yeah, I should become a television writer. She's meanwhile cleaning up TTC and the Toadstar and headed here into Bowser in the Sky.
Go.
So far, pretty clean movement from Cheese so far. Oh, RockChalk almost missing the second hand there, but not going to be making that mistake today. And so far, Cheese is on a solid 48 pace right now. Just breezing through this run. Absolutely masterful play. Barely going to be missing the best, a chance at the best time in this league, but certainly very, very, very strong showing from him so far. Looks like he does have the potential to get a 48 1x, something in the 48 teens, so to speak. Hits one, what's it called, where you spin Bowser around. Oh no, misses the first, or misses the second. The thing you do where you spin him around and then you let go and then he goes flying. Lance, the Bowser Lance, hits the second one. Gonna be hitting the third one. A nice safe one, couple bounces, but overall pretty clean. But with that missed throw, is going to have to settle for a 48-28, looks like, maybe a 48-29. And RockChalk, it's gonna be very difficult for him to come back in this race, to be perfectly honest. Gonna have to turn back time. Not technology that we seem to have access to so far, but still a very clean showing from RockChalk. Just did not have the opportunities to come back after those early mistakes. Unfortunately, Cheese with a 48-28, such a good run on his end. Less than a minute off his PB, and that is extremely extremely good. Congratulations to Cheese. But RockChalk can get himself a nice hefty few points. Looks like he is going to be able to finish within 2 minutes of Cheese, given good movement. So fingers are crossed for that. Cheese showing us a screenshot of his webcam from one of his world record runs. I'll let the chat guess if that run was verified or not. And Cheese immediately turning off all of his stream, his webcam, just letting it all go, leaving it out all on the field, or something to that effect. RockChalk can be going here into those Bowser throws. Can still finish within 2 minutes of Cheese. It's gonna be a bit of a struggle now, not quite as safe as it was before. And gonna be missing that throw, which means that under 2 minutes is now dead, unfortunately, but still has 2 throws to go and can lock in a hefty few points. So it looks like Cheese with that is going to hold on. Actually, we're gonna wait to see what happens. So RockChalk has not finished his run yet. He is on the 3rd throw, and RockChalk nails the 3rd throw. So yeah, Cheese does finish up. He is going to overtake. Oh darn! I forgot who's in 2nd place, but he is going to take sole ownership of 2nd place, just behind Ouija. Not quite enough points from this race, thanks to that showing from RockChalk. Not quite enough points to overtake Ouija in 1st place, but he's going to take a nice, strong 2nd place showing, the only undefeated player behind Ouija. And commiserations to RockChalk, also earning himself some points. Indeed, going to be pushing Benji over to 3rd place. And yeah, since this is pre-recorded, obviously we're not going to be having interviews, but we will be right back. I'm not going anywhere, and I hope you're not either. And speaking of Onyx, check out Onyx, ! Onyx, download the Golf Clash app, earn 500 points, and get a free sub. But for now, I am Shantastic, signing back out. We will be back in little under 10 minutes, and I'll be back with Scotch and Tie Guy to commentate some more SM64 action Division 1. Be right back, folks.